Hi, my name is George Bortnick. I'm a prepper, and right now our garden is really putting out a lot of tomatoes. As you can see, we've got a bunch of them here. What do we do with our tomatoes? We're not going to eat them all in salads. I'd get tired of salads real quick. But I'm going to show you what we do, and it works out pretty good. Now we've got a Vitamix here. And what I do is I'm going to grind these things up in a Vitamix. I'm just going to show you a little bit what we do here. I'm going to grind them up and then I'm going to take you over. I dehydrate them. And the way I do it, I actually, when I preserve these, they're good for 30 years. So I can use them whenever I want, and I can make them into pizza sauce. I can make them into tomato juice. I can make them just about anything. But these tomatoes will not go to waste. They won't spoil. I can use them in whatever way. All I have to do is rehydrate them. To rehydrate them, all you have to do is put it in hot water, or boiling water, and it revives them, make them just like they came out of the garden. So this is one little trick I do to make them a little bit thicker. I know you can't read this because this is upside down. Well, we'll turn it upside down. We'll turn it upright so it's bottoms up. But anyhow, I took the lid off here, and what I do is I take and put this at the bottom of the Vitamix, and then what this does, it makes it a little bit thicker, so I can pour it into my dehydrator, and it'll dry better. It'll be it'll be a thicker consistency. What we're going to do is we're going to basically make it up into you've seen these fruit roll-ups. Well, this is going to be a tomato roll-up. But it's really going to be concentrated, and it's really good, especially when we make pizza. I don't eat flour anymore. And so what I do is we make a pizza crust out of cauliflower. And that's what we make our crust out of, and we use these things all the time for the sauce, and they just work great. And basically, what you're doing is you're just taking these tomatoes, you're cutting the core out, any bad spots that are in there, like there's no bad ones in this one. I'm just going to quarter this. Throw it in the Vitamix. Let me do one more, and here's one with a bad spot. As you can see, a little bad spot there. Well, we'll just cut him right out. We'll quarter him. Now, you don't have to watch me cut all these things up, so I'm going to cut off the movie. We'll cut back in where I get them all ground up. What I do is I grind them to a real fine slurry, and I don't even have to cook them down. When I get that thick slurry, what I do is I pour that in I've got some special pans, and this Nesco dehydrator has some. If you don't have these little pans from Nesco, that's the one thing good about Nesco. They have these little pans to make these fruit roll-ups, and boy, you can use them in the Excalibur, you can use them in a Nesco, whatever. They're just really great. I'd say by far the Excalibur is the best one, and I can do a lot of things with the Excalibur. There's a lot of things I can do with the Nesco, but Nesco is about a third of the price, about a quarter of the price. So it's but they're both good units as long as you get any kind of dehydrator that you can adjust the temperature and the temperature and the heat level. You've got a good dehydrator. It doesn't have to be a real fancy one. Now, things I do with mine, good gosh, when I was making bread, I was raising bread in the Excalibur. And I could actually do it in a Nesco now, the way I've got it arranged. Um, One of my earlier videos shows you how you can do that. You can make yogurt. There's just all kinds of things you can do with it. So get into using this dehydrator. It's so much easier than canning, and it does a really good job. So, okay, I'm going to stop this for right now, and then I'll get this slurry, and we'll go then to the how we put it into the dehydrator. Okay, we're back again, and we're going to use the Nesco dehydrator, and this is what I really wanted to show you. These little trays. These are what are put out by Nesco, and you can buy these in a package of 2. I forget how much they are. Well worth the money. Well worth. Don't go cheap on these. These are really good. I can use these on my Excalibur. I can use these on my Nesco. They're fantastic, and they fit right inside the Nesco thing. What I do is I don't grease it up. I don't do anything. What I do is I just pour this slurry right inside there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a spoon here and just sort of level it out. So it's same level all the way around. Okay, now we get another tray, and we put another shelf in there. And my gosh, we are level it out. And see, I'm doing this all within, say, maybe 10 minutes. I leave this thing on all day. You can't ever over dehydrate anything. Well, maybe you can, but I've yet to do it. But anyhow, we dehydrate this, and this is basically what it looks like. I put it in a jar and I vacuum seal these. I'm gonna take you all the way through it, and we store 3. I've got 3 layers right in this 1-quart jar, and that was about 10 tomatoes. Let me spread this out. Okay, and that's it. Now what we do is I'm going to put it in my dehydrator. Now, as you can see, I've got some extra trays. Well, like I say, I do a lot of dehydrating, and I gave one of my dehydrators to my stepdaughter, and I get them for different people, and you find these things at garage sales. And this is the one I've got, which I like the best, a Nesco Professional Food Jerky Dehydrator. I think it was $57. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing on a level right around, oh, here's the thing, here's fruits and vegetables, 135 degrees, a little bit high for me. I'm going to set this at 125. It never gets to 125 because this thing's set a little bit low. You want to keep this thing to where it's doesn't get any hotter than, say, like 118 degrees, and I know it doesn't get that hot. I've checked this with a thermometer before. And what I'll do is I'll just turn this thing on. Now, one thing I do is I have my fan on. I'm circulating the air, and I'm in the summer and I've got the air conditioner on. But this will take me about this will cost me about 25 cents to dehydrate these things. I think that's what the estimate of the electricity is. It's fantastic. Just just to show you a few things. Here's some of the things that I dehydrate too. And I've got basil, I got oregano, I've got parsley, I got rosemary, I've got all these different spices here. Oh, this is squash, summer squash, and I'll rehydrate that and that'll be just like brand new. This is parsley. Let's see, mushrooms. That was a huge big bag of mushrooms, and it all fits in a quart jar. It makes it a lot smaller. It's really a neat way to go. And then I always keep some other things. And then at a later time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you we do another thing too, and it's sprouting. And I've got these little containers here that I do the sprouting with. And you know, I really don't even need a garden. I can get my greens any time of the year. In 3 days, I've got they're 10 times better than any other greens you can get out of a garden because they've been sprouted, and so the potency is really fantastic. But I can put, say, like 20 cents worth of seed in this thing, and in 3 days I've got probably $6 to $8 worth of sprouts. That's what they charge you at these grocery stores. So, and then I've got some other units here. So, okay, well, that's it for now. Thank you. Well, we're back again, and it's been about 12-14 hours since I've done the dehydrating, and this is what she's going to look like. These little fruit roll-up trays are going to come out like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down here. Well, one thing you do, I've already done this, wash your hands before you deal with this stuff, because germs are very important. I've already done this. Then you take this thing and you bend this plastic thing around a little bit, and you take off this tomato roll-up. Look at how nice that comes off. That's done. Fold it over. You got that. Put that in the bottle. I'm just going to seal this thing so you can see how I seal this. Put the little lid on here first without the screw-on lid. I bought this thing at Bass Pro. This thing at Walmart. It's rechargeable. You can hear the motor. It's drawn down. It just vacuum sealed all the air out of there. I'll be able to put about 3 of these in a 1-quart jar. Well, that's quite a bit for about 10 tomatoes. Now, if you have any questions about the dehydrating part of it, let me tell you the place to look. There's this gal, I think she's out of Pennsylvania, and it's called Dehydrate the number 2 Store. Dehydrate to Store. She's got videos on there that just won't quit. I've learned everything from hers. What an education. And she believes in the way I do. Well, she's Mormon. So they believe in putting they put up a pantry and they have a year's supply of food. And for whatever happens, if you have a tornado or hurricane or some kind of disaster, or if any kind of problems, you're safe, you're covered. You don't have to rely upon the government or somebody else. You're standing on your own too, and that's the way you should be. The other thing that's really good about this having a year's supply of stuff is okay, I've said this before, it's just like the price of peanut butter went way up this year. I love my peanut butter. And thing is, when you buy it, say I go to the store and I'll buy 2 jars of peanut butter. Well, I'll buy a third one. If I have some extra money, I'll just buy a third one. And that one goes in the pantry. Or I might put 2 of them in the pantry and I'm just using the one. On a rainy day when things are rough, I don't have to make an extra trip, burn a bunch of gas to do this. And by doing this, when I buy it when it's cheap, I cost average, and therefore my stuff is a lot cheaper. I mean, I keep it at the same level price and everything. But this is a really good way to do this, and I would really strongly suggest you go look at that Dehydrate 2 store. And I think that's about it for today. I'm going to put the rest of these in there. I'll break the seal. Well, I'm going to break the seal right now because I've got to finish this up. And you can hear the vacuum there. It's something else. But this, when I do this, this is good for 30 years. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you too. We found this PB2. Found this at a health food store, and basically what this is it's a powdered peanut butter. And I try to do as much camping as I can. I do a lot of RVing, and I make like small MREs. I'll vacuum seal like say a half cup of oatmeal and put some PB2 in there, a little bit of sugar, and maybe some craisins, something else like that. Vacuum seal that. Hey, that's good forever. I just grab it when I want to go out camping or whenever. If there's a disaster, I just grab some of those and toss some to my friend. Hey, just add water. All you do is add hot water to it, and it's done. It cooks there right in the pack, and so there's no cleanup. All you need is a spoon, or you just squeeze it in your mouth, whatever. But this is what I do, and hope you guys start getting prepared too. Okay, later.